Good afternoon, my name is Dominic Ippolito, and today I will be presenting my study on the access to healthcare for Latinos and their overall quality of care. The objective of the study is to notify and make known the lack of healthcare and lack of good healthcare that the Latino minority faces on a daily basis. Minority groups are continually growing in the United States, and the Latino one is the largest and the fastest growing in the country today, and they are persecuted by race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, gender. There's just a number of factors that come into effect when the overall quality of care and the access to care is studied or looked upon. So the Latino minority is a target for these hate groups or the hateful doctors that won't give them good care or won't give them access to care at all. So on slide 4, we have a map of the United States with the layout of the Latino minority, and as you can see from the map, most of the Latinos are in Texas, New Mexico, California, some in Arizona, and some in Miami as well, because the Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California are what we call the border states. So everyone comes from Mexico into the United States that way. And then Miami, of course, Miami and Florida in and of itself is our gateway to Cuba, to and from Cuba into the United States. Okay. In 2012, it was shown that women of the LGBT community, Latino women in and of itself, are persecuted for being lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, and they are at risk for smoking, drinking problems, poor mental health, poor overall health care, and risk for diabetes. And also, it was also shown that Latinos in the border states, so Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, are exposed to lower quality of care and experience disparities in their health care because of the lack of insurance that they have because of their low socioeconomic status. As well, the Center for Disease Control and Escarce and Morales both concluded that Hispanics were at risk for obesity and cancers, different types of cancer. Colon is one of the biggest, and as well as cardiovascular disease and lung cancer. Those are the three main ones that are spread throughout the Latino population, and that's really why doctors don't really care for them, because they're at such a high risk for these different things, and it's just harder for the doctors to deal with. So that's really why they won't care for them. Okay. My study was composed of quantitative analysis. I used case studies and past interviews and other research papers to compile my study. However, the sources that I used were mixed method because they were taken from other research papers, and then surveys were done in their papers to come up with their studies and publish them. So yes, mine is qualitative, but it's composed of a mixed method. So it could be kind of both quantitative and qualitative, because although the statistics were already taken, it doesn't really matter because they're still live statistics that anybody can use. So the limitations and ethical issues. Due to the methodology that I used, qualitative study, there were a couple limitations, including specialized information, so only about the border states or only about Texas or California, none really in the northern United States that I could find. Not enough information about the topic. It was too broad, too specific, too general, too specific, too broad, far-fetched, or just not enough. There was differing information in my studies, so it made it almost impossible to use the studies because they said two different things that didn't go along with my hypothesis, as well as the lack of statistical information provided in the studies. And there were no noted ethical issues because I used a qualitative analysis. In conclusion, in my literature, in the overall review, it was concluded that Latinos do face a lack in the quality of care, and they do face disparities in their healthcare system, regardless of race, color, religion, creed, socioeconomic status, and even geographical location. And the relevancy of this study is accurate because in today's society we have DACA, which Donald Trump is trying to fight. DACA is a revocation program that prevents people from being deported when they came here illegally. And since the president is trying to do away with DACA, a lot of Latinos are in trouble. They're faced with disparities in their own lives, like because they could be deported, and it does put a lot of pressure on the Latino minority. And that's why I feel like DACA is so relevant to my study, because the Latino population is ever growing because they're the large minority, and the president is kind of trying to get them out of the United States and stuff like that. So I think that I think DACA and my study go hand in hand, because the Latinos are the biggest population in the United States, and the Latinos are the biggest ones being troubled by Donald Trump trying to do away with DACA. So, yeah. And then I have my references on 11, 12, and 13. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked my presentation. Thank you.